Check this out. Man, this is unbelievable. I can't believe it. I have found another one.
My buddy Mike and I hunted this spot that we're going to hunt today back last year. I don't know, I guess it was probably in the winter or early spring. Anyway, we found this site, went in there, and it produced a lot of flat buttons, a few coins, not many. I think I found an Indian, a shield nickel, a wheat, but a lot of flat buttons and some other interesting items. Then they planted it in soybeans in the spring. So we've waited all summer for them to combine them, and they combined them this last week, and we got back in. And obviously we picked over the real good signals, and they don't turn ground anymore throughout most of the country. They just no-till, and that's what they did in this field here. So it's really not disturbed a whole lot, but we're just looking for those iffy signals, and that's kind of what we were looking for today. We found a few that we had missed before that sounded pretty good. But for the most part, everything was kind of iffy, it's kind of a little bit deeper and not a real good clear signal. But I want you to wait and see what I found. I knew one of these had to be at this site, and I finally found it.
Where's he at? Oh, little brass cuff. Boy, that's a sick shank, ain't it?
Uh-huh.
Thin little thing. How deep was it?
Oh, it wasn't about 2 inches deep.
Well, that's the first find. We're re-hunting a spot that was the Colonial site here. They had soybeans in it. I ain't dug nothing today but iron. It's no part of a single tree. Wood would have went through here, and then it would have latched one of those on each side. This piece that I found is part of an old single tree. Actually, there was one of these on each end of a single tree. Jeff often kids me. He says, you don't have to research most of these things that we find. He says, you lived them. Well, in this case, Jeff is right. In fact, single trees are still used in our region of the country, as there are still people who work mules and horses in Kentucky and Tennessee. A single tree was used for hitching a horse or a mule to some type of farm implement, such as a plow, a disc, a sickle mower, or a wagon. These were most commonly used in the 1800s, but some are still used today, as I said. The history of this principle of the harness goes all the way back to Roman times. In the case of a wagon, the single tree would be used in conjunction with what is called a double tree. The double tree, pictured at top, would be hooked to the wagon, and then the two single trees, pictured at bottom, would be attached to the double tree on one end and then connected to the traces of two horses, and a trace is the leather line that comes from the harness of the horse, on the other end. The purpose of the single tree is to evenly distribute the weight of whatever's being pulled by the animal. It allows the harness to have more mobility at the shoulders of the horse or mule than does a solid trace attachment, and it also transmits the weight being pulled to the shoulders of the animal. That's what it is. It's a single tree. So now the next time you find one of these iron pieces, you'll know what it was used on, and you'll know what its purpose was. And Mike said he's got another button over here. I ain't found a button. I ain't found nothing but iron. Found one fired round ball, but I believe it's modern.
Well, it's got some writing on it, but I can't tell you. You probably got better eyes than I do.
Yeah, I I don't know either. You may be able to see that. I thought it said Cumberland, but it doesn't. It says something other plain. Tombac Button, old overall. We're on a colonial site along the Cumberland River that we've hunted quite a bit. And out of that hole right there, this is pewter, and I'm not sure what it is, but it's definitely made out of pewter. So whatever it is, it's old. But I have no clue what that is. I've got a little bitty cuff button right here. The shank is broke off the back. It was a fair signal, and it's fairly deep too. I'll take it. Kind of slim pickings here this morning. Out of that hole right there, got me a little cuff button here. Still got a shank. You can see the shank standing up right there. It's a fair signal. I'll take it. They're few and far between this morning. Out of that hole right there, I had a really scratchy signal, and you can see the dia, which is God, by the grace of God, probably a Carlos the third or fourth. And then you can see the M there was minted in Mexico. That's been broke for quite a while, but it is another piece of Spanish silver. I knew that there should be one here. I'll take it. That real I found is right behind me, and got a nice little button here. It doesn't have a shank on it, but it's got a good back mark. Came out of that hole right there, and the real came out right there.
Just like the other one, they got the same kind of what do you call it, the little thing on the back?
Shank. Yeah. That's a good little button there. We found a gazillion of buttons here, but there's still a few left. Out of that hole right there, and I'm still just circling around where I got the real there. I've got a pewter button that still has the shank. Can't tell if it's got anything on the front of it. It kind of looked like it had some markings, but it may just be scratches on it. That's the old button. That's 1700s right there, but the real is too. Out of that hole right there, I got another 1700s button. Tombac. It's been broke. I'd like to have it whole, but I don't care. That still counts. Hot little spot right in here.
You know, when I can, I like to highlight brand new channels, and here's a brand new channel. This guy just started videoing his hunts. His channel is called The Yard Dogs. You see it there on your screen. He's got less than 50 subscribers, and so we can help him out by going over there, checking his channel out, subscribing to him, liking, sharing his channel to our friends and those people that we know in the metal detecting community. So do him a favor, go check him out, The Yard Dogs, and be sure and tell him that Digging with 7, Tennessee Jeff, Mike Turner, our whole gang sent you over there.
Mike said, here's a good one. I don't know what it is. Convex button. Check that out. Shank went right down in there.
Shank's gone.
Yeah. That's a nice button there. Mike's way over here, back where the house used to be, pretty close. See said he's got another button. Kind of a slow start today, but we found a little bit of stuff. I'm gonna come around you and come over here where I stay in the sun. That's a good thick one there. I think I got one just like that over a while ago. $18.20s when they got a back mark on them. Still giving some up. I got another flat button out of that hole right there. The shank is bent over on the back. It was laying in there with a nail. You can see the rust on it there. Rang up good, real high. That's because it's a thick button. Looks like it's been in a fire. That's a good find. I like it when this happens. This doesn't happen often enough. I've got a button still in situ right there. Ring up 39. Shank just broke off of it. Can't even tell which side the shank was on. Probably on that one there. Little teeny button. I'll take it. I got another one. Don't know if you can see it or not. It's right there. Oh, it's still got a little gold gilt left on it. It's going to be plain on the front. Oh, I might have hit that a little bit. That's what the deal is. Yeah, I hit it just a little bit. Still a good find. Mike says he's got another button. It just rolled out. He hadn't touched it. Oh, I see green in the hole. I see some good green in the hole. You see it right there?
Shank? No.
Now where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, that's a good button there. Real good button. I like finding those. Plain front, but it doesn't have a back mark, so that's a older, late 17, early 1800s flat button there. Still giving up a few.
Yeah. Anyway, want to make sure that we say that certainly do appreciate you guys watching our videos. Certainly do appreciate you listening to our radio station, Relics Radio on Spreaker. I'm going to leave a link to all of that in the description here. Just wanted to say before we close out this video here how much we appreciate your support. So thank you guys for all that you do, guys and gals, for all that you do for Digging with Seven and Tennessee Jeff and the other folks that I have hunting with me whenever Jeff can't make the trip up here. Anyway, certainly do appreciate it, and we will see you next Tuesday.